Well, here we go, Pastor Jared, another episode of the One Life podcast, Thanksgiving edition. Thanksgiving is just a couple days away. I think our listeners are dying to know what Pastor Jared does on a regular basis for Thanksgiving.
They care at all. I mean, we don't have family here. My dad moved here recently, but people in our church have been so great. Like every year, people invite us to come over. We kind of have fallen into a tradition of we run a turkey trot the morning of Thanksgiving, go back, watch some football. I'm a huge casserole guy. I think that's part of
Growing up in a Baptist church.
Growing up in a Baptist church and in the Midwest, you have green bean casserole, like a sweet potato casserole type of thing. So I actually love making those. Amanda, not a fan of Thanksgiving.
Like at all?
Not her deal. I mean, she would say this, it's her least favorite, and here's why.
Oh, okay.
Because her birthday actually falls on Thanksgiving this year.
Okay.
And I just think that she hates the fact that she has to celebrate or share her birthday with Thanksgiving.
But
it's just
the
not
rest
her
of the
thing.
country is just thankful for her.
For her. That's what I tell her. It's a whole day for you. So, yeah, we hang out, just chill. Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday. I mean, family, food, football doesn't get much better than that.
Yeah, me too. So. We grew up watching the parade all the time.
Yeah.
So I think it is an interesting dynamic being out here. Like the parade's kind of already going on. You watch it on delay, but.
So we used to watch the parade, but then Amanda, obviously with all of her fitness and running, and she hosts a 5K, she is trying to convince me to wear a turkey costume.
Oh, wow.
On Thursday morning to run the 5K and keep like an 8-minute pace. Jeez. And whoever beats the 8-minute pace gets a free pumpkin pie.
Wow.
So I'm on the fence 50-50. By the time we're recording this, like I'm 50-50, but if they show up Thursday,
it's a 5K?
5K.
Okay.
3.1 miles.
At an 8-minute pace. So you have to be under 25 minutes-ish.
Roughly, yeah.
Okay.
Which is totally, I mean,
I will be in my pajamas watching the parade.
Yeah, it's fun. We have a good time, and people come out and they'll walk, they'll run, they'll push a stroller. It's a good time.
All right. Are there any favorite childhood memories of Thanksgiving?
So yeah, my dad was a hunter.
Okay.
So in Michigan.
I did not know that.
Normally on Thanksgiving morning, we would all go hunting, like some of the guys in the church, and my dad would bring me along. So I remember one Thanksgiving morning, my dad got a deer, and we spent all morning like cleaning it and then bringing it to the place where they're going to fix it all up, and all. That's one of my absolute favorites.
I normally have a decent idea of where this podcast is going to go. Before
I
had no idea that.
There was a moment, even like when I was in junior high, I was a hunter.
Okay.
And then basketball was in Michigan. Basketball practice started November 15, which is the date deer season starts.
Okay. So you had to make a choice as a kid.
Because the school
to
was,
kill animals.
if you miss school, you can't practice.
Yeah,
and so, as soon as freshman season came
crazy.
around, it was all basketball all the time, and I've been hunting since. Yeah. That might surprise a lot of people.
I think so. I think we should just stop here. This is mind-blowing.
Yeah, one of my favorites is I remember that Thanksgiving like it was yesterday.
Wow. I'll have to ask your dad about that.
It was great.
That's crazy. All right, well, we got a lot of cool stuff happening coming up after Thanksgiving here at the church. Walk us through a little bit this weekend, tailgate party, all that kind of stuff. The football is just getting kicked off, literally, on Thursday with Thanksgiving stuff, and then it's a football weekend for us here at the church.
Well, first, I think we have to talk about the Michigan-Ohio State game.
That's true.
That's a big deal.
Yeah.
So that's Saturday morning, and then depends on who wins that game will depend on how my mood is Saturday night for church.
That's a fair point. Is it weird being a Big Ten fan? Like your biggest game is like the big noon game? I feel like I'm an SEC guy, so for us, if you get a noon slot, you're like, it's a throwaway game. This is a terrible game. Yeah.
I actually really enjoy it, especially now that we have Saturday night services.
Yeah, that's fair.
All the games that Michigan that matter, I'll be able to watch them during the day and it won't compete with.
So we have 8 Saturday services and we're going at 10 a.m.
Yeah. Then it's over. Then all of them will be on video, hopefully by that point, if we have that many services to do.
What are your thoughts going into the game? You think Michigan's got it again?
I don't know. I think it's going to be 2 weeks ago would have thought, Michigan has this. But now with all the controversy around that and Jim Harbaugh being suspended, I think the whole, Michigan's going to rally around this. I think they did that for the Penn State game. I mean, it's the game, so I think it's going to be amazing either way. But it'll be fun either way.
Home field advantage.
Yep. We have a chance.
Pretty big deal for that game, you feel like, every year, whoever's at home.
I think
you just beat them in Columbus, right? Last year.
Yeah, our quarterback is better. Our running backs are better. They have better receivers. Our offensive line and defensive line are better, but I think their secondary is really good. So it's going to be a really good game. All that assurance. I think that's way too much information for people.
Who cares?
We should just do a whole episode on Michigan football.
Bonus coverage. You have to be a subscriber to
get our bets too.
Yeah.
Like what over under.
Not me. My parents watch this, so that's not. I'm not betting, Mom and Dad. All right, so Saturday, moving on past the game, Michigan's going to stomp the Buckeyes, and then after that, what's happening here at the
I
church?
think it'd be fun. We have a football final at the movies, which, by the way, this has been just my favorite at the movies series that we've done. I've loved it. So many new people are walking through our doors, and even we replayed Saving Mr. Banks last week. Mm-hmm. I had so many people. It's just one of those things. I don't even really think I understand it. Is we've only been coming for a year and a half. I've never seen that movie before, right? Like, we just played it 2 years ago, but then you remember, man, over half of the people weren't here 2 years ago. So
pretty much our whole campus at the East Campus.
I mean, and Amanda even said that like last night. She said, I totally just forgotten how great that movie is. Yeah, and it is such a great story of forgiveness and I mean, who doesn't love Tom Hanks playing a famous character in history, right? He's absolutely brilliant. So then after the football movie, tailgate party, which should just be a fun thing on Saturday night, just to hang out. And
hamburgers, hot dogs, chips, drinks, the whole deal, hangout time.
It'll be great.
Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun.
And then right after the series, then we're into Christmas, man. Like we kind of turn at the movies, and then they'll walk in, and it'll be Christmas, and off we go to the end of the year.
I'm excited for the other day. I was thinking like, well, we have at the movies, then we have a month, and then Christmas. And I was like, well, actually, we have baptism weekend the week after, right? First weekend of December. We got a block party at the East Campus the 10th. Then the 17th is like an off weekend, sort of, right? Yeah. But it's just this is normal church again,
right?
And then it's Christmas time, so it's going to be a jam-packed December.
There is no rest for the weary.
It's fun.
Here
it's
we
good
are.
Stuff. What do you feel like you're most excited for going into the new year? Right, we're going to talk a little bit about 21 days of prayer and fasting and those things as we get closer. But what's one thing for our listeners you'd say, hey, like 2024, this is what I'm really, really excited for?
Superior Campus is something that I'm really, I mean, it's just a surprise. We were up there today. We took the staff up there, and I get in the car, and it's just that moment of like, what are we thinking? But it's that, and I had a couple people from our church, not staff members, that were in the car with me on the way up and the way back, and just hearing their perspective. Yeah. I'll probably use some of their language in some future sermons, just on some things that they're experiencing with the Holy Spirit, and where they think their involvement will be, and people you wouldn't even expect. But Superior Campus is going to be an interesting nut for us to crack in 2024. And honestly, man, I'm excited for our East Campus. I think this is a year where, 18 months in is kind of that watershed moment of like, all right, here we go. We're not a brand new church plant, and we're starting to build traction, and we can start to see that in the At the Movie series. Mm-hmm. Attendance is way up. But hopefully, this is the big prayer request that I'm excited about, is either having the game plan of here is land that we're going to buy, or there is a building, whether it's an industrial space, whatever, that we're targeting to put our church campus at. Whether that's forever or maybe it's a 10-year lease agreement, we need to find permanent space for our East Campus as quickly as possible. So praying, and I'm really excited about that. And continued growth here at the university. I mean, I'm excited about everything. Yeah. It's been a good year, and I'm really looking forward to what's next.
I think it's cool just to see, like, 2022, I feel like was a lot of the construction, the moving pieces, all that kind of stuff, launch of the new campus, really raw. 2023 kind of was like the fine tune, like literally last week we just hung up the last signs, right? Like to try to get those exactly how we wanted them. So like those tiny details of things, not the big stuff necessarily. And so it is nice rolling into 2024 of, okay, this is what we've been working for. Now let's go.
That's right.
So I think that's exciting. I think for the team too, they're kind of pumped about.
And part of like what we're doing on the back end too, like behind the scenes, is we're just getting clarity, like with systems and structure, even like staffing, like putting, using better software to track vacation days, and just hey, we're becoming a larger church,
Yeah.
and some of the things that we just haven't needed to put in place, we're actually putting that into place, which I think is just going to propel us even further, especially as we add more staff and we add a campus. Needed things for us to do, we just haven't done them.
Nice.
So here we are.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
And the elder team, we had a great elder meeting last week, and it's just that feeling of here's what I don't want to predict it, but here's what I'm praying for. To 2024, this is the year that we're no longer the best kept secret in Mesa. And I would expect another great year of growth. Everything is leaning that way, and who knows after that where the future goes. But yeah,
it's really cool.
It's exciting.
All right, well, they do this all the time. I know this is a shorter episode for us. They do this all the time, like on the news. They give people a shout out. Say, who do you want to give a shout out to? Who are you thankful for this year? So give us your quick. I'm thankful for fill in the blank. You got to mention your wife, all that kind of stuff. I know, but
so here's what's interesting. I was on an airplane last week coming back, and this is a discipline that a pastor taught me, that while you're on an airplane, like go through your photos of the last year, and it just reminds you of the places that you've been, things that you've done, and it just forces you in the moment just to push pause and to remember. And so I would encourage everybody at some time this week, like pretend that you're on an airplane, put it on airplane mode so you can't be distracted, and just go through the last year of photos. And you remember, oh yeah, I remember that football game with my son, right? Or I went to the World Series Game 5, and only like a month removed, but it's so easily that you just forget. But here's the thing that stood out to me. It was just a month ago. Thankful for my wife, my family, the church. But man, I'm honestly like really grateful for our staff here at One Life. It was that Christmas party last year. We had one of our last group photos, and there's people that aren't on our staff anymore. But I just. And you always hear the horror stories of staffs and elder teams going crazy, and I just praise God for our team. And we're not a perfect team, and I'm not a perfect pastor, but man, God's up to something really fun, and I'm just grateful for the team that He's put together here at One Life. So if I had to say what's the biggest thing, I think that might be it this year.
That's good.
Grateful for the people I get to do work with.
It's awesome.
So how about you?
Yeah, I think obviously wife and kids for sure. I think I'm just happy it seems like we've been in a young family build-up stage. And I know we're not done with that. We have a third one on the way. But I do feel like
just getting started.
Yeah,
right?
I know. I do feel like things have, when you move to like a new spot from Florida, I felt like the first couple years have been still like transition and all that. It seems like we've settled, right? Yeah. This is home.
The roots are in.
Yeah. And so it's been fun. Though I look back on the last year too, just really thankful for friends, for family, and just the comfort of, even though we're not called to be comfortable, but the comfort of just going home, right? Yeah. And so that's been a great year for us.
I thought for sure you're going to mention you're grateful that for your water leak that you don't have to spend thousands and thousands of dollars.
That is true too.
It came in under.
I got some good news for that. That's true.
That's the worst, man.
Talk about slab leaks on here for a while, I guess.
That's next week's podcast. Did football. Next week is plumbing.
Yeah, it would be a lot of fun. Not really, but all right, man. Well, happy Thanksgiving. Hope you have a great Thanksgiving. Thankful for you too as a leader, mentor of mine. So, and remember, the church is not a building we sit in; it's a movement we get to be a part of to go reach one more life for Jesus.
Let's go.